Obviously, I just told the guys in the locker room I'm not by any means a moral victories guy. It's not my deal. I despise getting beat. But I will tell you that the way that they battled for a majority of the game after the start that we had, the fight that they showed, the lift certain guys gave us off the bench, their response to adversity in a very tough environment. Showed me a lot about our team. I thought that was the one thing I took away that I thought was pretty good. Obviously, I'm concerned about our start. We'll have to take a look at that and be willing, as I told the guys in the locker room, we're going to have to make some changes. I didn't like our start. Then our defense, I thought was not very good, certainly to start the game. And so they made plays. And then obviously offensively, I was fairly pleased. You had a right-hand hook from Bo. Had a runner from Tracy going to his right, had a wide open three, and we didn't make any of them. So that didn't help us any, certainly. But I loved our response to cut it to, I think it was 13. Is that right, DB? And I thought the last 4 minutes of the first half were huge. We had the media timeout, but sitting right around 13, and I thought, man, if we can win this 4 minutes, we're in great shape. We've withstood it, and we'll be in a position to have a chance to win the game. And then it goes to 19. 2 turnovers that led to 4 points. We had 7 at the half, but 2 of those 7 in the half I thought were big. So now it's 19. Now you're scrambling back again. Then we cut it to 9 in the second half. You got 8 minutes to go, and we help off a Blackman twice. That's probably not a real smart thing to do, and that hurt us. And he buried a couple shots and made us pay. They had some guys step up and make plays, and we knew we were going to catch them, and we were going to get their best shot. Coming off of what they had been through, I know he's got guys that are competitive and have some pride, no different than our guys were when they went through the 3. So I knew that was coming, and they were ready to play. So give them a lot of credit. At the end of the day, I think the difference certainly was the start of the game. After that, it was kind of anyone's game, and we just got to make a mistake a little bit less, here or there, helping off Blackman twice. We're not supposed to do that. Tijon did it once. J. Cole did it once. Then on the inbound play, Tijon's got to exercise his options a little bit quicker. That was a key turnover after we had ran some pretty good stuff on inbound plays during the game. So just a couple things here and there. But, I'm proud of their fight and the way that they battle. It's definitely something we can build on, get tomorrow off. Then we get 2 days to get ready for Michigan on Wednesday at home with a 2-game homestand. Big week for us. And, we'll have to build on the fight that we had. I thought our fight was better defensively in the second half.
John, the slow start added to the fact that Malcolm picked up the 3 fouls within the first 4 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't
help.
help.
Did a good job of staying on the court to the end of the game and managed to only have to keep those 3 fouls at the end.
Yeah, it doesn't help, obviously. I think he's certainly one of the best players in this league, one of the better ones in the country, and it doesn't help when he has to sit like that, or you're subbing him offense, defense. Doesn't help his rhythm. Certainly not good for our team. Abrams was in foul trouble, but we have no excuses. We put 5 out there, they put 5 out there, and what it did do is it gave some guys some opportunity. And a lot of the guys took advantage of it, did some good things, coming off the bench. We found a lineup there that we played for a while until those guys got gassed late in the second half that was really doing some good things at both ends of the floor. So, at the end of the day, they turn you over. We had 9. They're top 10 in the nation in defensive or offensive rebounding. I was really worried about that, and we wanted to get 65-plus back. We got 68. And we wanted to have some patience and be able to work inside out. And, shot 30, what did we shoot, 33 free throw? So we did some good things. It's just when you're playing someone that's playing that well on their home court, you can't get down 13, 15 to nothing. That hurt us. And then the mistakes when we had a chance, they actually shot to overcome that maybe. With 8 to go, down 9, you get a stop, you come down and scored 7-6 with 7 minutes to go, and we help off Blackman twice. And he made us pay both times. I thought those were big shots.
John, you had changes. We saw some changes in the second half. What did you see out of Tijon and Kipper specifically, and why did you decide to go?
Yeah, those guys have been practicing pretty well, and I felt like defensively that Kipper, based on the matchups today, Jeremy, they played Anunoby a lot at the 4. That might be something that could be good for us. Obviously, when we got off to the slow start, in particular on the defensive end, it made that decision a little bit easier. Thought he gave us good defense. Thought he competed. Thought he made some good plays for us. I thought he was really good in the minutes that he played, per minute played. Lucas did some good things as well. Obviously we'd like to have you come out of a timeout. I mean, you got to get the ball in bounds, and that's on me and him. But he's got to exercise the options a little bit quicker. And we'd had some, like I said, some really good baseline out of bounds plays during the game that were good for us. And so he had that one. Then he helped off Blackman. Just a couple freshman errors here and there, but all in all, I thought his minutes were productive as well.
He didn't play a lot in the non-conference. He seemed a little wild early. Did he kind of get into a rhythm, and what does he add that maybe you don't have?
Well, the biggest difference with him right now, and I had a meeting with him yesterday, is he knows our defense a lot better. That's the biggest difference. He's always been a guy that can dribble, pass, make good decisions, make guys better. I'd like to tell you I taught him that. I didn't. He had that before he got here. But defensively now he knows where he's supposed to be. He knows the names of actions. He's better in scouting. He, appreciates those things more. He's absorbed them better. He knows our defense a lot better than he did a month ago, certainly than what he did when he started preseason practice, having missed the entire summer and fall. So he's gotten better on that end of the floor, and if you can take care of the ball and you can defend and you know our defense, then you got a shot to help us. And last week, Jeremy, the bye week helped. So we were able to practice a little bit more than normal. It wasn't just strictly scouting for Indiana. We were able to work a lot on our stuff and grow and improve in a lot of areas. So we scrimmaged a lot, and I saw him a lot. He had a good week this past week. And so I thought he kind of earned that opportunity. And obviously both of them did some good things per minute played, both the freshmen.
Yesterday you mentioned good week of practice, and a couple of guys were talking to that as well. And also that Indiana will be playing with a sense of urgency.
Sure.
I guess with all of that, where does a 15-0 run come from?
Defensively, I thought that we weren't great, Scott. You still got to make the shots, and they made them. I thought they back cut us behind the zone, behind our man, both defenses early. Their quality of shot, and still even in the second half, we said we played defensively better. They shot 60%, so we got to look at how much of that's on us and how much of that's them making shots. Obviously, even with great taking care of the ball, good job getting to the foul line, great job on the glass, the fight we showed. You're a smart guy. If I told you they're going to shoot 59% and 52 from three and make 13 threes, you're probably not going to like our chances. Our defense has got to be better, but give them credit. Those guys stepped up and made shots. Bryant made 2 threes. That's a tough cover for a center, stepping out and making 2 threes. They made shots and they made plays.
Coach, what's your impression, or what impresses you about Robert Johnson and his overall game?
Just the fact that he is a two-way player. I've told our players that. I respect him a lot. I think he's really good offensively, and I think he competes defensively. Obviously, tonight his assignment, the bulk of the game, was Malcolm Hill. And he usually guards the other team's best perimeter player, him or OG, just on film from what I've seen. And, I really respect the fact that he plays both sides of the ball. That's the thing that probably stands out to me.
John, after the Maryland game you were talking about, we have to respond. Obviously you did in the second half, but that beginning of it, how concerning is that going forward?
Well, obviously I'm concerned about it. I don't like starting that way, but I loved our response down 20. The response we had, the fight we showed, much, much, much different than Maryland. Much more poise, much more composure, much more fight, more quality possessions. They played together at both ends of the floor. We were synchronized after that start. I thought that was the thing I'm going to take out of it, obviously, other than, like I said, I'm not into moral victories, but I thought we did a pretty good job in some areas, and we got to build on that. We just got to do it more consistently. But you're right. To say I'm not concerned about the start, I am. We got to figure that out. We got to start a lot better, because that put us in a hole today that I thought might be maybe, we can talk about little areas and nitpick little areas, but the start was the difference in the game.
You always talk about, every game's a new game, every season's a new season, but it feels like at home, there just seems to be something different about your team. You starting to see maybe a sense of the trend that on the road you seem to get down.
I would have if we'd have kept playing like we did the first 4 minutes, But the fight we had, the way we worked to guard the ball, the communication, I felt their synergy for the bulk of today's game. To be honest with you, probably a heck of a lot more than I did in the second half of the Ohio State game. It just so happens we made a couple plays at the end with 4 minutes to go. That game could have went either way. We just happened to win that one. But I thought today our synergy, our connectedness in terms of over the course of 40 minutes, was maybe better than it was in the Ohio State game. We just didn't get the outcome we wanted. And in particular, I hate to keep referencing the start. Jeremy talked about it. I mean, it's hard, man. You're on the road. You dig yourself that type of hole. It's tough. You can play really well after that, but you dig yourself that type of hole against this type of offensive team. We all know what they're capable of, and that made it difficult for us.
Kind of going back to Malcolm, most of the time you're pretty quick to pull guys if they get 2 fouls or really like that. Is there something different about this situation where you kept them in there?
Well, obviously we subbed him in and out, and it's hard to get a guy rhythm. I just felt like with the deficit that we had that we needed him, Scott. I don't know, been interesting. If it was nip and tuck at that point, would I have played him with 3? I can't look in the eyes and tell you for sure I would have. That had been just a feel thing. But obviously with the deficit we had, I had more instincts to say, let's roll the dice here a little bit. And we did that. And fortunately, he was smart enough not to get a 4th one. And then we did a pretty good job of subbing him offense, defense, trying to keep him out of position of getting the 4th, considering that we were playing him.
John, defensively, is it an athleticism, length thing with this team? What do you think?
I thought in the second half we played really hard and did a lot of good defensive things, and I thought every time we made a mistake, they made us pay, and that's what good offensive teams do. I mentioned Blackman a couple times with threes. Obviously, we don't want to give up 20 free throws in the second half. You know, how many times will a team go 18 for 20 at 90%? They did that. That was 18 of their points in the second half. So we've got to find that balance, Jeremy, between playing as hard as we did in the second half, taking charges, being physical. We trapped a couple times. But the answer is not the foul. You know, we've been pretty good at that, not nationally in terms of defensive free throw rate. So I'll have to take a look at it. But, you know, obviously them shooting 20 free throws and a half is not what we want. You know, I think we continue to have the type of commitment we had the last 30-plus minutes defensively, where guys were sitting down, they were, had an edge to them. I thought we guarded the ball a little bit better. It's hard to do against them because of their spacing and the fact that they play small and play 4 guards a lot. But, we'll take a look at it. I think the mistakes we made, when it got to 9 with 8 to go, we had a chance. Like I said, you get a stop and a score. Now it's 6, 7. You got a shot, man. And we just made a couple mistakes there, and Blackman made us pay on a couple of those threes.
How do you get Tracy out of this slump?
Well, he just got to keep playing, Rob. He's got to keep playing every day and honor the process. Obviously, the foul trouble didn't help him. He got a little bit out of rhythm, with that. But, we'll take a look at it. He does more than just, obviously than just score the basketball. When you say slump, you look at shooting, and obviously we'd like for him to make every shot. But, he needs to continue to be vocal, have us ready to practice like he did last week, quarterback our team, and be that guy as well. That's as important as shot making. So he provides that, and, I'm confident as long as he takes good ones that, eventually, he'll snap out of it with the shooting percentage.
This is the second straight game with less Thorne in the second half, and maybe going fake at the 5.
Yeah, we did. We played LaRon and Fink some at the 5. Kipper, obviously, when he plays the 4, that shrinks the front court rotation a little bit. I felt like we needed to do that because they were playing really small. At one point, Ananobi or McSwain was their 5-man. They were really small. So we felt like we needed to counter. That was our best chance to try to step up our defense and defend. And but we're gonna need Big Mike. We're gonna need everybody. Based on the opponent and what we're trying to do on a given night. That's the type of team we have.
49 fouls called combined in the game. How did you feel your team adjusted to the officiating?
Obviously not great. We'll have to take a look at why, because we don't want, as I said earlier, 20 free throw attempts in the second half. I mean, we've got to figure that out and figure out what we can control and do it better. We take great pride in that. We've been one of the best teams nationally for years at defensive free throw rate. That's a staple. It needs to be a staple, and we got to take a look at, what we can control to be better there.
Last question if we have it.
Coach,
This is the last one.
LaRon's offensive production dipped significantly. How can he become a bigger part of this offense again?
I think he's just got to take what's there, Derek. I thought he did that tonight. He obviously was in a rhythm with that group that was playing well together also. Malcolm was making some plays. You know, we have so many guys that are capable of scoring double figures. You know, Tracy didn't shoot it well, as Rob mentioned, but we all know he's more than capable. Hill, J. Cole, Thorne, Morgan, Finke, Black. You know, it's hard. You know, our go-to guy needs to be the guy that's the most open, you know, and try to make the right play. And I thought we did that tonight as indicative of the fact that we got to the line. We only turned it 9 times. Thought the biggest difference between this one was in Maryland we got a little wild and tried to run stop by ourselves. Today we played as a team at both ends to get back in the game both times. And I thought that was huge.
Okay, we got.
Thanks.
Maverick.